All right, we are live. How is everybody doing tonight? We are about to play our session 18 of Storm King's Thunder. I have titled this one Gardens and Deserts. I'm really creative like that. Last we left off, our party made their way into the Frost Giant's fortress called Vardburg. They were looking for a artifact which was going to allow them entry into an ancient giant kind of old dungeon that held this entity called the Oracle. They're looking for what is called the Oracle's Lens, which will let them into this old ancient ruins and give them some insight about what's going on in the giant world. So, having met Harshnag, the friendly frost giant, he told them that his brother, located in Varburg, would have one of these oracle lenses, and they took the dangerous mission to head in there into the Frost Giant's homeland. And basically, last session they were able to track it down through stealth. Sunlit and Livy were able to sneak in with Belladora to the Temple of Thrym, and they located the Oracle's Lens, getting in a fight with a two-headed frost giant and making friends with an unlikely ally in the form of an adult white dragon. The other half of the party laid wait for this sneakier people to find the artifact and get back, but growing a little bored and impatient, they went on a little adventure, finding that the Jarl, which is Harshnag's brother, returned. Morin, and Octavius kind of snuck up on the roofs and watched this massive ship called the Krigvin pull into the harbor and into the fortress itself. And sneaking on board using several misty steps, Warren was able to steal a Jolly Roger, which was apparently magically enchanted, and let their ship sail incredibly fast. From there, the giants on this massive ship kind of spread out. The Jarl himself seemed rather unpleased with the situation, and just basically angry from his past voyage, and sent all the Frost Giants aboard to kind of go out throughout the fortress and clean the area up, sending 5 Frost Giants to Sunlit, Belladora, and Livy, and then leaving Octavius and the rest of the gang to find a couple other strays. So that's where we kind of jump in. Sorry for the long recap there. I just kind of was going on forever. But Livy, you who do not look there, or maybe not there, she's there. All right. Found yourself at the map we have. You found yourself in the corner looking at this frozen hoard of treasure. It actually belongs to Eisendraug, the white dragon, and her brother. But she tells you that if you guys agree to help her, that you can have pickings at whatever you want, which I'm assuming, since you guys already agreed, you say that's fine. And as you're looking down, you actually find besides like literally thousands of gold pieces frozen, which you would need to take some time to dig out, you find a couple things that catch your attention. 2 vials of potion, which are kind of glowing green, and upon looking at them, you would realize that there are some pretty substantial healing potions. You find a scroll, which you can try to check out if you want to see what it does, but you also have a feeling that maybe Warren would also have an idea what this scroll does. You find this little like lockbox, and on it is a familiar, like, you can't really figure out at first why you recognize this, but after like kind of looking at it for a while, you've realized it's like the same symbol that Octavius wears around his neck. And then last but not least, you find, kind of as you're just about getting ready to like, okay, pick this up, in the corner of your eyes, you see a crossbow. And as you look over at it, it kind of, the beauty of it just strikes you. As you look over, you see that it has this kind of hard wood that just seems to glimmer, even though it's been left there for who knows how long. And blazed into the side of the arm from one end to the other is Elvish script that's deeply burned in like black, but still has this shine to it. You pick it up it's impressively light.
Hmm.
And as you're kind of looking around, you don't see any bolts or anything, but you look and the iron sight itself is metal that is twisted in a way that makes it actually look like a flower.
Okay. Livy knows Elvish, so if there's any meaning to it, or
Yeah, so what you read is like some kind of poem. If you speak Elvish, it's like a poem of some sort. You read it and it says, "Archer's stance, breath held, sighting along the bolt's tip, the calm, then the storm." And as you read that in your head, kind of, or maybe even out loud for all that matters, you suddenly realize that the crossbow itself is like emanating warmth. And it's just an incredibly good feeling. And as you hold it and you think about this, you realize that the ground before you starts to turn to grass. And as you look further, you start to see flowers of every color that you can imagine just all around you. You're swept away to this beautiful, warm, almost kind of like grove of some kind, an absolutely impressive garden. And it's warm and you feel this warm summer breeze. The cold of the temple that you're in just leaves you. And all you can do is just smell these beautiful flowers. And it's like one of those kind of warm summer days where it's almost so bright out that it's blurry.
Take off the Yeti coke. Like, whoo.
Yeah, so you take off that because you instantly feel the heat, and you just take a deep breath, and it just smells absolutely amazing. As you're just kind of taking this in, almost forgetting like where you are, you see watching you this beautiful elven woman. She has long, shimmering brown hair, violet eyes, and very bushy eyebrows. "Welcome. How do you find my garden?"
Oh, rather lovely considering where I just came from. This so pleasant. This is paradise from where I was in a land of ice just moments ago, which now I'm here.
She kind of smiles at you. She's nodding like she's listening, but you don't know if she necessarily understands. "I've been waiting a long time. Waiting for somebody worthy to spend time here. Do you think you're worthy?"
I have much yet to prove, but I would like to think yes. Yes. Worthy of what though? Wait, am I staying here? Are you looking for a gardener or someone to tend?
She kind of smiles and laughs. And then she says, "Worthy of protecting this beautiful place."
Yes, absolutely. This is a place worth protecting. Would I be able to come back?
She nods her head. "If you think you are worthy, then prove it." She steps aside, and suddenly, as you're like, it's just so bright, you can't really focus on anything. It's warm, it's beautiful. The breeze is kind of blowing in your head. You're like, this is absolutely like just very nice place to be. And then in front of you, this black, absolutely abrupt, jarring, smoke-like figure pops up in the distance. And you just instantly, that feeling of warmth and happiness is taken away. And this smoke-like creature that's absolutely massive starts to lumber towards the garden. She smiles at you. "My name is the Maiden. Prove yourself, Livy. Prove yourself worthy of protecting my garden."
Livy takes a moment and makes sure that hair is tied up good and tight.
You don't know how, but you know that she's talking about using the crossbow that's currently in your possession.
Yep. Okay. And She will then, she will instinctively kind of look for a bolt if the crossbow itself does not radiate some, or like just kind of show this, like there's kind of taking it from like a dream almost perspective, that just innate intuition to be like, oh, if I just aim and pull, there's going to be some kind of magic to this that will make a bolt. Otherwise, if she may pull one of her own bolts out to put in if she doesn't have that just kind of intuition.
All right. So yeah, there's definitely your like bolt kind of quiver on your back or whatever, wherever you store them.
Hip.
If you so you load one in, and then as you're kind of loading it in and pulling the drawstring back, for some reason it goes in, but it doesn't seem like it necessarily belongs there. But you have it loaded, you aim, and as you look down, you see this beautifully designed flower iron sight, and you can take your first shot at the smoke creature, but at disadvantage and with -10 to your roll.
Okay, 220s, right? 220s. Or, a beautiful 16 if that happens. All right, here we go. And 9.
Absolutely. So yeah. 9. As you pull the trigger, the bolt just kind of seems to bump around in the actual like loading mechanism and then shoot out and not go anywhere where you were intending. The maiden now stands beside you, and she tells you not to think of the dangers that come. Focus on the beauty that is this garden. And as you look, you're like, that's good and all, but there's this absolutely enormous smoke monster creature that's barreling towards you.
It's coming.
And you now see that the garden itself is starting to burn and smoke up.
All right. Feel like the next thought in her mind would, I don't know, just getting creative, wanting to protect this. The bolt didn't seem to work. Like, what if there is some, like, what if it's supposed to pair with her magic? Because she knows how to create chromatic orb, but it's like this harebrained idea. Like, that sounds not logical. Like, how am I going to, whatever. Let's see if we can channel my energies through this.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check. This too, unfortunately, at disadvantage, though.
Oh, man. Well, she's a smart cookie. She gets a +3. Let's find out. Wait, that was supposed to be at disadvantage, so that was... Oh, it didn't even register, so let's try this again. Arcana. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, nope. Bloop.
So yeah, you try to like focus your magic into this crossbow itself, which is something that like you've obviously never tried before. And with that, you like borderline cause this like minor explosion on the bow itself. And you momentarily worried that you actually like might have damaged or destroyed the crossbow. But as you look and the smoke kind of clears, you see that it's still intact. The maiden smiles at you and then starts to read the very same poem that is on the crossbow itself. And she reads, "Archer's stance, breath held, sighting along the bolt's tip, the calm, then the storm."
And with that, Livy just light bulb, ding ding. Stop it, Cortana. She will then take a deep breath. She will get into Archer stance, which she's seen people do it. So, and she will pull that crossbow up and she will look down that line.
Yeah. So as you do that,
a deep breath, and when she lets it out.
Absolutely. So basically, actually, when you take the Archer stance and you really like listen to what she's saying, you see this entity, the evil incarnate, moving and destroying the garden. You see that the burning swells and that the monster grows nearer and nearer. You smell, though, even through the burning, the beauty of this place, a place that is worthy of protecting. You smell the flowers, and as you look at them, you see that they're glowing all around you. And as you take your Archer stance and start to steady your breath, you notice that the flowers themselves have this arcane energy kind of emanating out of them. And for some reason, you just get this urge to reach down and grab one. What color do you grab?
Red.
You grab red, and as you put your arms on or hands on the flower itself, it forms the shaft of a bolt. And you pull out the flower, and it forms this burning red bolt. You pull it in, and you load it into your crossbow. This time it moves in and slides in and loads absolutely perfectly. You listen to the maiden as she's repeating the poem over and over again. Archer's stance. You ready yourself in the stance. The smoke monster moving closer and closer. Breath held. You pull back your breath, kind of taking this deep breath. You look down the iron sights, and you now, as she reads, sighting along the bolt's tip, you look down the tip and see this glowing red bolt inside the crossbow. The calm, as she reads, and you just let the breath out. And then even through the chaos, as this smoke monster is destroying this beautiful place, you kind of freeze time. You're absolutely calm. You're absolutely focused. And then she reads the storm, and you pull the trigger. And like a thunderous bolt of energy, it absolutely just erupts out of the crossbow itself. And this flaming bolt comes flying out and just drives directly into the smoke-like creature, completely destroying it in one blast. The chaos is now over. You're kind of breathing there momentarily. But as you look around, all the flowers have returned. The burning is gone. The monster is gone. And you just look and you see these hundreds and thousands of flowers all glowing with an arcane energy. The maiden approaches you once more. You are a worthy protector of my realm. Welcome, my child, to the Maiden's Garden. And you don't know how you know this, but you realize that the crossbow itself is called Maiden's Garden.
We're gonna keep this thing safe. And she's still just kind of taking it on, just like, I will keep this safe. I will keep the garden safe. How do I get back? I have people that are in need of help too.
As you say that, the wind of warmth turns to a chilling one.
No.
The flowers start to slowly dissipate. And as you look around, you see Belladora and Sunlit kind of like staring at you like, Livy, did you not hear me when I said 5 giants are like right coming this way? This is Belladora.
I just saw the coolest thing happen. And yes, I will have to, yes, stances. Oh my, holy crackers. By the way, that, and pointing out the other things that's like, we need, Tavios could utilize that, I'm sure, in the scroll, I bet Warrendale would have a heyday with, maybe. Oh, anyways, 5 giants. Yes. Holy cow. This, I can't wait to tell you guys all about this. As she's kind of coming out of this pile now, probably with the other 2 things that she noticed. And
absolutely. So I'm going to add to your inventory the crossbow Maiden's Garden.
Mm-hmm.
As I do so, it should actually auto adjust to your stats and stuff. It's a crossbow +2.
Sweet.
So that's pretty decent for you.
Actions. Oh, it's there. So that should be a +8 then on her attack.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let me give you the +2, and then that should be all sorted out for you. And then the damage will be the same as a crossbow, but for some reason it didn't work. But I will fix that also. And then, yeah. So what do you guys want to do, Sunlit and Livy, to ready yourselves for the giants that are inevitably walking to this place?
Livia's looking for a very good vantage point. She's hoping that she can use this crossbow to really bring down these giants. Like, oh my gosh, I took out a shadow beast. I'm going to bring in giants.
All right.
All Are you well, Olivia?
I'm very well. I'm excited. I'm optimistic. I mean, I always am optimistic, but like it's like it's been refreshed.
She's looking at you very puzzled. You were standing there talking in Elvish to nobody.
Yes, yes, yes. I'll tell you all about it.
Oh, I heard you,
You'll
and I
see
heard
soon.
what you're saying. It's not a problem, but you were talking to nobody.
I assure you, it wasn't nobody. But like I said, we have bigger
But
things.
anyways,
I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to focus.
yes,
Big things.
and she
Dragon,
looks up to the dragon and goes, are you ready?
Was that to Belladora? Sorry.
No, to the dragon.
Oh, yeah. As Ice and Drug, you told her to fly up in the bell, correct?
Yes. I wanted her to seem as if she was still being.
She flies up there, and as she nestles herself in the bell itself, she says, "Yes, but be ready, for if even one of them escape, we are all doomed."
Very well. I believe we moved the body.
Did you guys move the body? I can't remember if you did or
I
not.
kind of felt like we wanted to.
Yeah. She could. The dragon's definitely strong enough to do that. You guys would probably have a pretty hard time, but with a little bit of effort, the dragon can move the body if you want. But like, there's the kind of, where do you really want to? You can give me a perception check. Anyone that wants to hide the body somewhere.
Well, we could also use it for cover. So that might not be a bad idea.
Up to you. Cover
I
or
would like
hide
to
spot.
one last chance to talk to her and say, where are these eggs that you've asked us to protect?
The Jarl. He has them stored away in his lodge.
Wonderful.
My brother is kept captive on his ship.
Yes. This is.
Help me free him. And together, we can destroy them all.
I really hope so, there, Miss Dragon, because we found one day we found an elder, an ancient dragon, I believe it was, and it was just much. There's many more giants here, I believe, than there was there, and it's very scared. So, yeah, I think an ambush by you is going to be the best idea. So, Olivia, we should probably get some cover and brace ourselves.
Remember,
our friend here dead.
No one escapes.
I hope you have a plan for that, dragon, because I don't know how we're going to make them not.
It just kind of lets a snarl go.
Okay. And Sunlit. I'm gonna get the map back up over here. These are pillars, right? Those brown things.
Yep.
Okay. And they're going to be coming in over here in between the second and first and second star down here in the bottom left-hand corner. Is that correct?
No, they're going to come in from the south. So the very bottom.
Oh, the very bottom. Okay.
Yep.
Oops. Don't do that. Don't do that to me. Sorry, just yelling at the map. So from where we came in at the very south.
Yes. Well, presumably that's where, that's where Belladora seemed to come from. And speaking of Belladora, as the dragon goes up and you guys kind of position yourselves around, she would like go walk up to you and, this is a very bad idea.
Extremely, Belladora. But and during that whole time, she's taken some of the rope and kind of turned, because she has the ring, right? I have the ring.
Yeah, you have the Oracle's lens. So
I have kind of fashioned it into a backhand of myself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So like I'll be able to move with it on me. So on and so forth. So she's a big girl. She should be able to handle it. I've got a fairly good strength and such. So
yep.
I am going to move myself. I don't know if I want to be that close. I do want to be able to see them coming in.
And as you guys ready for the imminent attack,
so I'll be able to see kind of line of sight down here.
Yeah. Belladora. Where do you want to stand, Livy? She's AFK. Oh, we'll get back to her. But as you guys wait for this pending ambush on these 5 frost giants, Belladora would constantly be going about how she thinks this is a bad idea, and she doesn't think that combined will be able to take 5 frost giants. So, like, you guys don't remember, like, the ancient dragon fighting 10 of them? Like, this is totally not going to work. But,
Don't worry, Belladora. I got this now.
Absolutely. And for the for that actual thing, I actually forgot to mention, Libby. Normally, with a magic item like this, you would need attunement, but the trials that you just faced in the garden served as your attunement. So you are now attuned to the creature, or to the bow itself. There's a description of what it does and what it looks like in your inventory. And what it actually is that it doesn't use traditional bolts. Instead, you kind of peer into this garden when you're ready to shoot, and you infuse the bolt. You infuse the crossbow with arcane bolts that you pull from these flowers, and you basically can choose a elemental type of damage that you want to do with each shot.
Red, only red.
But we will jump over to the other half of the party as Warrendell and Octavios stand on top of this massive dry dock roof, looking down. And if you remember correctly, you were just about to ride your magic carpet of the Pennant of Vin down on a absolutely bonkers journey to the docks itself, where Harshnag, Sirik, and Barrick wait for you. And as you were just about to jump off, 2 frost giants kind of poked out and were like, thought they noticed something. You look around and the wind is absolutely biting. As you see in any distance that you look, just a massive sea of icebergs. And then below you, these 2 frost giants that are kind of looking around, seeing if they can seize anything. What are you guys doing?
Warren will look over at Octavius. Well, you ready? We just hop on here. You hold on to one side, I hold on to the other. We push off and boom, we fly down there like something fast.
You know, I heard a story of a couple of guys doing this once.
It was.
We'll see what happens.
It went very well, right? Of course it did.
Let's just see what happens.
As you guys are like getting on this thing and like kind of like one behind the other holding on to the waist, you look over and you see Harshnag, and he's just like waving you guys. He sees what you're thinking about doing, and he's just like in utter disbelief.
I think he wants us to hurry.
You give him a thumbs up, and he's like, you can see he's talking to Sirik and Barrick, who are like poking out of their little boat through the and looking at you guys with surprised eyes also. And as you step up and you're ready to take your descent off, you hear this voice kind of call out just before you're doing it. And it's kind of a smaller voice compared to the baritone, like deep booming voices of the giants. And this voice says, "What are you guys daydreaming about? Just standing out here, wasting the day away?" To which the giants retort that they will not take insults from such puny folk. And as you guys are like just about to jump, you take a moment to step back and you look down and you see this humanoid, this human figure. He's blonde with a blonde mustache and like this kind of pulled back hair. He looks like a human, and he's standing in between the giants. And he's like, yes, you won't take any insults from me because I'm tiny. I get it. Well, how about we go talk to your Jarl about this little meeting that we're having, this little treachery, we'll call it. And I'm sure that you frost giants have means, like a diplomatic way of dealing with these issues, right? Like the whole, you guys want to stab your leader in the back. I'm sure you guys can solve this in a diplomatic way, right? To which the giants look at themselves and grunt. All right, Nilron, what do you want? And this Nilron says, tell me, Tell me of your voyage. Did you find anything? Did you find what we were looking for? The frost giants shake their head no. We destroyed many villages. We sailed around the coastlines, but no word of it has turned up. The Jarl is getting more and more pissed. Nilron kind of looks around. You guys aren't very efficient at finding things, are you? This is getting rather annoying. I'm getting really tired of hanging out around here. It's absolutely freezing. He's kind of just like shivering. And then he like looks up as you guys are standing on the edge. A bit of snow kind of kicks down. You guys duck back. What were you looking around for? We thought we heard something. To which the Nilron says, do you think someone's listening in? This could be very problematic for the three of us. And then the frost giants say, let me check. And one of them starts to go towards the ledge where the iceberg kind of like meets, that's entombed this dry dock. And he starts to climb up towards you guys. You're going to pull the chute. Now's the time to do it, unless you got a backup plan.
Well, what do you say?
I would just say that's whatever you want to do, Warren. I'm still with you.
Well, no time like the present. I have no other tricks up my sleeve.
All right. You jump off?
Yeah.
All right.
So
you're
I
not
use it as a sled,
yeah.
Whatever direction looks the best.
So you just like line it up for the docks where you see Harshnag. Obviously, you figure like getting towards your companions and the frost giant that's a pretty decent fighter is your best odds. And you just take a moment to register what you're doing and you jump off. Give me a acrobatics check.
Both of us are.
I'm gonna say a disadvantage you.
Oops. Isn't there a way to turn disadvantage? Yeah, down there. I see it. Okay. Acrobatics.
So yeah, you jump off, and there's this moment as you're sailing through the sky. You feel the wind whip underneath this big flag and kind of take you, and you're sailing above, and you see the one giant look up. What is that? And then the other one tries to grab at you, and you're flying, and then you realize you've traveled maybe 10 feet at best, and now you're plummeting at a rapid rate. Give me a dexterity saving throw, the both of you use.
I told you this would be fun. Oh, shit.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that. Octavius rolled a 0.
I can't see anything. I don't know why the chat won't show me anything that's going on.
Yeah, you rolled a 0. So
yeah,
the momentum kind of carries in, and then you feel this sinking feeling in your stomach as it's the gravity pulling you down at a very rapid pace. The only thing that this massive flag manages to do is basically like wrap you guys up around it so that you completely like lose focus, and it just swallows you whole and kind of wraps you up in like a bundle as you start to like plummet down towards the ground. The one thing that it does is at least break your fall, but not being magically in tune to this thing, it really serves you no purpose whatsoever. And it was basically like grabbing a garbage bag or like a rug and jumping off the side of a building. So luckily it kind of breaks a lot of the fall. You both land prone, absolutely, and then take a total of 6 falling damage. Nilron says, "You idiots! Someone's watching us. Get them!" And then instantly does this arcane enchantment and kind of moves his hands and then vanishes. Just completely gone. I'll get you guys to roll your initiative as you see Harshnag mouthing the words, "Oh fuck," and then starting to like get on the dock and run towards you guys, and Sirik and Barrick pulling themselves out.
All right.
I can see this is going to be a night of awesome rolls.
Yeah, you guys are bumping. Octavius, I don't think it's rolled over 5 yet. All right, he rolled a 5 there. Can you see that one at least, Dan?
Nope, can't see anything. I'm going to jump out of fantasy grounds real quick and pop back in.
Yeah, that's really strange. Give that a try. Let's see if it actually puts you in the initiative tracker. Yep, and Octavius. Yep. Okay. So before we start combat with them, we're going to jump over to the rest, or the other half of the party again, who hear these giants kind of kick open the door, and they call out, "Narthrax! What's going on in here? How's that stupid dragon?" No one answers. And you start to hear their boof, boof, big footsteps as one comes around the corner. Another comes around the corner. Before long, all 5 come around the corner and see the dead corpse lying on the ground. You hear them mumbling to themselves. "What happened? Narthrax is dead. Careful, it was probably that dragon. Quick, one of you go tell the Jarl, just in case. Get those eggs hostage." To which, as soon as they say that, the dragon hears it, and you can tell that she has abandoned all element of surprise. You guys both get an action to do something if you want before she drops down and absolute chaos breaks out.
I believe Libby would be like, "Let's try out this crossbow."
So yeah, they see the body and then they realize that they're not going to take any chances. So they're going to send one right away to go get the Jarl to get the eggs under control. And then as soon as she hears that, like the plan just goes through the roof, and she just has rage in her eyes, now free from the chain and like ready to strike. She's getting ready to down. So like Livy just kind of, oh shit, readies her crossbow. And are you just going to
like go up and back, like to utilize the corner, like if you look at the map.
Okay. Yep.
Trying to keep some cover, and the idea is shoot and back up.
All right, and you can roll an attack on one of them if you want.
Frost Giant number 3.
All right.
Okay, let's see how this works. Whoa, 16.
16 is a hit on Frost Giant number 3. Go ahead and roll your damage. Make sure I got the modifiers in there right. For some reason, it didn't work. It's a +2 crossbow plus your dex, so I think it's +5 to your attack, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
Now, did you hear the part where I said about how the bow actually works, or were you AFK? I think he might have been AFK.
I assume it's going to be similar to how she experienced it, like where he's taking the stance and whatnot, just like, okay, breathe slow, aim, look through.
Yeah. Every time you pull the crossbow up and get ready to fire it, you kind of momentarily get like the peripherals of the garden in your view. And then instead of firing regular bolts, you literally just pull out a flower that you want and then can load it in and basically do elemental damage of your choice.
Red flowers for this.
So 8 fire damage as you momentarily go back, kind of thinking of the poem that's all written on the crossbow. You pull a bolt out and load it in, this flaming bolt, and it just plunges into the Frost Giant as he yells out that it's an ambush.
Back up with the remaining.
All right, you back up. Where did he go? Did I delete him from the initiative? No, there he is. Are they actually vulnerable to fire? I don't think they are.
That'd be nice.
No, they're not.
Fucker.
But 8 fire damage. Sunlit, what are you doing as the plan quickly is going to shit?
Yeah, plan is going to shit.
Oh yeah.
So she's, you can see where she is. I'm assuming Frost Giant 5 is gonna be the one that goes in bolts.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Okay.
You guys want yours?
How?
Chris?
It's just hard to tell. Okay, every one of these little squares is how far?
The little tiny squares are 5 feet, I'm gonna say. I'm not sure if that's actually super accurate, but it makes sense to me. Guess I can screen share the actual map too for combat. Unfortunately, Warren and Octavius don't get a fancy battle map.
Yeah. Okay, so I can double that, and then. All right, so I can make it all the way to here with my double movement, fun thing.
Okay.
I can't move until I don't move again. I don't get it back. But yeah, she unnecessarily quickly, as we know she can, moves over to to here. And she is going to. Man, this is really bad. I don't have a lot of key left. But I'm going to take 3 attacks against Frost Giant number 5.
Okay. And you have your weapon, your comma whip, which could potentially knock it prone.
For that, but I want to have a story moment to be able to do that.
Yep, go ahead.
But I mean, it's so we can't do it now. It'll be very interesting. So it's yeah, but she can't use that because she needs to get within 10 feet, and I don't want to get within 10 feet of a giant. That sounds like a really stupid idea.
Especially 5 of them. Sounds like 5 times a stupid idea.
Yeah, that worked out real well for the last time. But it's within 30 feet of me. 1, 2.
Yep.
3. Yeah, it's within 30 feet. So yeah, I'm gonna shooty with Gideon. Let's do it up. 16.
Hit. 15's your mark on these guys.
Okay, so this second one misses. Yeah, oh, it just gets worse. Well, I guess we'll just.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
Yeah, 9 points of damage on good old number 5.
All right, so you shoot out these quick 3 arc or radiant blasts from your harnessing your key. Only one manages to actually do damage as you just kind of slam into their thick skin that they have, almost like just hard ice. And just they're starting to yell out in chaos that it's an ambush, and they're obviously kind of caught off guard even momentarily as Eisendrag drops down to the ground, thrusts her wings powerfully menacing, which kind of blows all the benches and broken furniture and pieces of wood across the room in their direction, and she lets out a "No one's going to touch my eggs." And then that's initiative for you guys too.
Okay. Bellador didn't get him a thing?
Yeah, I already did hers while you were talking. She missed.
She missed?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So that kind of is what it is. And we'll do the fun.
So then as you guys, Livy and Sunlit are rolling their initiative, what we're basically going to do is kind of have, as your turn comes up in combat, we'll jump over to your side. So I'm basically going to do 2 simultaneous combats in different areas because that doesn't sound like it's going to be chaotic. But we'll see how it goes. And we'll see what everyone rolls. Sunlit's in. Did you roll your initiative, Livy?
It looks like it. She's an 11, maybe?
You got 11, yep. All right. So with that, Eisendrag, the adult white dragon. Oh, she didn't, but she did now. Is up first, and she is in a rage, just going to approach the third frost giant that Livy landed a crossbolt into, and she is going to try to attack it with her multi attacks. So she gets 3 of those, 2 of which, or 1 of which is a bite and 2 claws. So let's do that. The claw misses as she, in just a fury, swipes, and the giant kind of drops back and drops its great axe, kind of blocking the attack. Another claw flies as this one rolls a natural 1. Jesus. And then going in for a bite as both claw attacks are flourished, she manages to hit with the bite attack and does, what was that? 27 damage to the third frost giant, who now doesn't even look too badly hurt, to be honest. At which point, the first frost giant is going to wrap around and engage with his friend on the dragon. He is going to make his 2 attacks, which is a hit and a miss, as Eisendrag takes a great axe to the back for a pretty sizable amount of damage. And she was already injured from the first fight. She's not badly injured yet, but you see 2 bad cuts on her now. As next up is Sir Barrick, who is running up the docks as we kind of flip over to the opposite side of this fortress now. Warrendell and Octavios have landed basically just a couple feet away from the frost giants. The man Nilron has vanished. Sir Barrick kind of starts running up the stairs. Now, you'll remember that the stairs itself are giant size, so he has no chance of making it to you in 1 turn. So he pulls out his heavy crossbow and he'll shoot it at one of the frost giants and manages to hit, to which I will do that damage, and let me get that going. The next person up in this initiative is the frost giant in the temple, who is going to approach the dragon and help the other 3. Now fully flanking it, the dragon is fighting 3 of these giants all by herself. The first attack misses, and the second attack misses also, as she manages to dodge both of these attacks. That's impressive that missed, actually. What's her AC? Okay, and then next up is Sunlit in this chaotic combat. Hopefully everyone can follow it.
No, I got it. Yeah, I mean, it's good. All right, so she's got 1 in front of her, and the guy she already hit.
You remember the damage that these frost giants can do to you alone. And there's just that moment where you question, as you just shot the 2 beams and kind of ducked behind, the frost giant knows that the dragon's in front of it, but it's also been given its command. So it doesn't look like it's going to actually investigate. It's just going to run, which is bad. But there's that moment where you're like, do I really want to go 1v1 with one of these things again?
Right. But she also doesn't want to go 20v, us. All right, I am going to I'm going to take another shot.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're going to do that. 3 more. And then I plan on moving afterwards.
Yep. Probably a good plan.
Yeah, that doesn't.
All right, there's some rolls for you. 26 from Sunlit.
Wish I was
Followed up by a miss, unfortunately.
Come on.
There you go. 2 hits.
All right, yeah. We're still like throwing grapes at it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So I'm gonna put I can fit behind this post, right?
Which post exactly?
These stars are pillars, right?
Yeah, those are statues.
Yeah.
Like big statues of the past Jarls. That one you'll remember is broken, but it still can give you some cover.
That's fine.
It gives you about 3/4 cover.
Well, it's better than being out in the open right over here.
Yeah.
So let's go over to there.
All right. Then that would put up Belladora, who, while you were talking, I did her turn, and she managed to shoot the first frost giant, which is on the left side of the dragon, and land an arrow into his back, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't really seem to be really catching his attention that much. To which we now get to the frost giant on the dry dock, where Warren and Octavios are, and he takes an arrow from Barrick, just kind of looks at it in his arm and pulls it out like it's a toothpick, throws it to the side, and then walks up and grabs a hold of the flag. Isn't this Jarl's Jolly Roger? What the heck's it doing here? And he lifts it up and feels that there's some weight into it. And looks inside and sees Warren and Octavius kind of sitting in there. What the hell are you doing here? And then he grabs it and lifts it up and is going to slam it on the ground with you two in it.
Octavius would yell, wait, we're here to help you overthrow the Jarl.
Neuron didn't say anything about other people helping. Give me a persuasion check.
Oh, hold on.
$18. Who are you?
That's not important. We just came. We wanted to make sure that we had the right to frost giants. We had to make sure that you were with.
Why the hell are you shooting at me?
Yeah. Because we thought you were going to attack us. But now that we know who you are, we're here to help you. We want to fight with you, not
turn
against
around and start, waving his hands, trying to call Sir Barrick off.
Yeah. So Sir Barrick kind of lowers it, obviously kind of confused. You'll see that Harshnag actually like ducks behind and like takes cover again. He's gonna make a quick stealth check. Actually, he'll have to do that on his turn. And yeah, they're kind of listening to you. Well, we weren't even ready to put the plan into action. What do you mean?
Well, it's time to go now. We have to go over to the temple and we have to rescue the dragon. Or, not the dragon, sorry. We have to rescue our friends. And then after that, we can stage a coup on the Jarl.
What do you mean, your friends? How many is there of you?
There's more of us. They called for reinforcements.
You're not friends with that filthy dragon, are you? I'll never work with a dragon.
Ah, fucking hate dragons.
I didn't even know there was a dragon.
That's funny. I thought you said dragon, but in the grand scheme of things, I guess you wouldn't know that's there. So yeah, surprisingly enough, they buy into it, and the invisible human doesn't seem to do anything. So they lower their weapons. Barrick and Sirik kind of come out, and they just like pulling themselves up. They're like deeply tired from climbing up the giant stairs. Hey? To which the giants look at them.
Yeah, we're here to help them. Here to help them. Here to help them fight and overthrow the Jarl. Remember? Yeah.
Oh yes, the Jarl. I remember that quite clearly. Barrick kind of says to you, instantly going along with it. All right, so
Octavius just, vile.
That is amazingly diffused for the situation. Jesus. Next up, we have Frost Giant in the temple, who is the one that has not been attacked or even phased upon. He sees that these light, radiant kind of flecks in comparison to like the size of them keep coming from the side of his left, or the western side. So he kind of steps down. You got cover, so he's going to do a perception check to see if he sees you. I guess you can't really hide, though, because you're not a rogue.
You I'm just, she's not hide like the hide action hide, but she's definitely standing behind it and making it so.
Yeah, so I'll give him a perception check, and he'll have a pretty low DC to see you. But since he didn't see you first, maybe he'll miss you. And he rolled a 13, which I'm going to say, with that, he's kind of looking around, and he finds you, but he spent his turn looking for you. And he lifts over this broken statue, and you see his big beard kind of dangling down, almost like touching you, like these gross, disgusting white vines of like thick, giant hair. And then he looks down and says, "Look what I found, a little kitty." To which, Warren, you're now up, but what do you?
I'm totally going with along with Octavius. Quite impressed with Octavius's demeanor here, but I don't know if you need me a persuasion or anything from me, but I'm just completely going along with it.
No, so you're going along with it. So they're like, "So you said we got to go to the temple?"
Can we hear the fight going on at the temple?
Probably not yet.
Okay.
Hasn't got crazy. You have heard sounds coming from there before, but as of right now, they're not doing anything loud enough. You heard like a giant bell being shattered.
Right.
And other than that, so yeah, you suspect something's going along, and they're kind of like trying to catch up to this plan that Octavius is obviously just pulling out of his ass as he goes. So that just like, so who are these people at the temple you speak of?
We have reinforcements, you see. Stealthy people, assassins that will help aid us in this endeavor. We have a whole plan figured out, but don't you worry. We have the plan figured out. We let you know what to do. You do the jobs. You get your part of the jobs done. We do our parts of the jobs, and you'll be jars before you know it. Trust me.
All right. I got an idea then.
Okay, let's hear it.
If people see you, then they'll know that something's not right. But if you hop in our bags, and he pulls out on the side, he has like this big kind of like big ass like pouch that he carries shit in, and he pulls it out, and it's like human size that it could easily fit all four of you in. He's like, "Jump in this, and we'll sneak you by and get to the temple." It's pretty good, huh?
Oh, that is freaking genius. What do you say, Octavius? It's no worse than being in this flag bag, right? Why don't you just stick us all in there?
Yeah, give us the flag back. We'll hop in the bag. We're good. Yeah. I guess.
What are you guys going to do with Jarl's flag? That thing's supposed to be really powerful.
Exactly.
I don't know if we should let you have it.
Well, you see...
We'll give it to the next Jarl.
Very well. Yes, we give it to the next Jarl. The plan is, if we have to leave in a hurry, this will get us there fast, right?
Right.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Very much so.
But wait, if we're going to overthrow the Jarl, won't we be the new Jarls?
And then you get the flag. It's a backup plan, just in case of anything, eh?
Oh, right. I like that.
We have to go quickly.
We're running out of time.
So you guys hop in the bag?
No different than being held in a sack, really.
Yeah. So yeah, he just like kind of scoops you up in the flag that you're already in, drops you into the bag. Barrick and Sirik are just like, this is, oh god. But go along with it anyways, because now they're guilty by association with you guys and have to see it through.
Is it like just tied around his waist, basically?
Yeah. He kind of ties it around his waist. And then, as you go in there, you kind of feel like all these different items bouncing around off you. You poke your head out, and you just see like the most random things, like the side of a door pulled off, and he's just stuck in there. But it's like this kind of nice looking door. There's like a wheel of a wagon, and just like a bunch of like just absolutely random things, paintings and all that. There's a couple of like coins jingling around, and he tucks you in his bag and just says, "Don't take any of my stuff."
Yes. What's your name? What do I call you?
Call me Nurth.
But this is Johann, and I'm Sebastian.
Sebastian. All right. You guys aren't tricking us or anything, are you?
Do we look like the type that would trick you? You'd crush us between your fingers and your thumb.
Yeah, I
We
guess
do
you're
have
right.
holes. See?
Although if we could crush you in your fingers, I don't know how you plan to overthrow the Jarl, but
We got plans. Don't you worry.
all right. Livy, as that's going on across, you have no clue. Your kind of ordeal is completely and utterly different. Absolute chaos has broken out as three giants descend upon Austrag and just start beating into her. She's holding her own against three. You look to your basically down south, and you see that another frost giant has discovered Sunlit, and then another frost giant, the fifth, is getting ready to run away, which was apparently something that could not happen under any circumstances. Good luck.
Choices. No pressure, Mary. No, none. So yeah. Well, I'm gonna have her focus on the one trying to get away in the hopes that, doing 2 attacks with this crossbow, just a miracle might happen. You never know, right? Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, fifth giant, you are hopefully going down.
15 is just a hit, and you're choosing fire. I'm going to just assume a fire unless you say otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay.
She likes the heat right now, and her second attack will. Okay, I rolled a 10 plus 8 for 18 to hit.
That will do it. 2 hits.
So here we go. Here's our first. That's a 7 plus 5.
Okay,
And
12.
a 6 plus 5. There. Oh, cool. Finally, they showed up. Yeah, that's some good fire damage coming that way. I hope 26 does something. Like, aiming for the feet.
You hit him in his feet, and he kind of stumbles over himself. Obviously, you didn't take him down. You already know that frost giants are pretty formidable foes. But as you do shoot into him, he gets mad, and
did you call after him like, "Hey"?
Yeah, you do, and he looks around, and he's like, "The eggs can
run away from a fight.
I'm gonna crush this tiny bitch." And yeah, you got him pissed off enough that he's going to not. So we jumped.
Shit.
Yeah. Luckily, you're pretty far away. Unluckily, it's not that far away for a giant. Syric's kind of in the bag with you guys, and just like, what the hell is going on?
Warren just shrugs. I don't know. It'll be all right. It'll be fun.
I thought we weren't supposed to be discovered by the giants.
Well, technicalities.
Are we really going to help them overthrow the Jarl?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's actually a pretty good idea. Then they would stop them from attacking Bryn again.
Perhaps.
All right.
Get a wing in it.
Wait a minute. What do you mean wigging it? We're in a giant's freaking bag right now. Barrick's kind of like, this will be fun, I'm sure. To which you, hey, quiet down in there. The frost giant, number 2, who is with the dry docks, basically now they're both trying to be inconspicuous, and they start to walk through the dry dock itself. They get through, and then you guys now notice that the kind of tinging sound that you guys were hearing ricocheting off the mountains that Sunlit told you was a bunch of like minions that they had working for them have now retired, and it seems like this is the place that they retired in. So you can kind of see like just vaguely through the sack, basically like these like little tiny holes that are basically like peepholes for you guys since the giant sack is so big. And as you look through, they're walking through this giant or this dry dock, and you see these humans. They look like barbarians, kind of like tribes folk, with these heavy fur pelts, and they're all retiring into here. And you see about 20 of them, all like coming in from a hard day's work. And the giants are kind of walking by like, yeah, good work today. Nothing to see here. Just go to bed. Don't be looking at us. And they kind of start walking through, to which none of the barbarian tribes people seem to get in the way. They just kind of like all scurry out of the way. And they're don't really seem to put up a threat. So they walk through the dry dock as their first movement, putting you guys at least a little bit closer. Livy, the giant that you just called out to, turns on you now and just, I'm gonna crush that bitch. And he reaches down and grabs basically like a broken piece of wooden table or like bench that the dragon's wing flapped towards him, and he is going to huck it at you. Go ahead, someone. Oh, sorry, never mind. 23 to hit.
Yep. She slips
Yeah, you slip, and this massive
right into it.
bench flies towards your head.
Uh,
Might not feel super good.
I got 30 HP. I can survive this, right?
Yeah. Let's see here. Roll it.
The first time she fell down in this fight.
That didn't work at all. I don't know why I did that.
What in the world, cat?
That didn't work. So that's 20 damage.
Oh yeah, she's seeing stars for the briefest of moments. Just like, holy shit, Livy.
Yeah. Octavius, you're now up. Is there anything that you want to do as you're basically trekking through? You look by and you see all these barbarians kind of like scared and like peering at the giants that are walking by, being inconspicuous, quote unquote.
Octavius is basically just sitting in the satchel with the goofiest smile on his face, saying nothing.
Perfect. This is all going to plan for him. All right. Harshnag is kind of like in a weird position now, so no one's going to really know what he's doing. And then this giant is the one that's engaging with the dragon, so he's going to take his 2 great axe attacks and huck it at the giant. 1 hit on Eisendrag and a miss on Eisendrag. She takes another big chunk of damage. As she's like holding her own, but 3 giants versus her, you can tell it's not going to be an easy fight. That pulls us to the top of the initiative, where she is now bloodied. She is going to... let me see here. Wait a second. That's interesting. I completely forgot that she had legendary actions. So let me get 3 attacks for her, because she would have definitely been using those every time that she could. So here's her first tail attack that she would have missed, which is a hit. And then the second tail attack that she would have missed is a miss. And then the third one is a hit. Okay. So she whips her tail into the third frost giant, twice hitting, once missing. And he is looking close to bloodied, which is kind of discerning that she hasn't managed to take one down yet. And Livy was hit once and almost probably KO'd, I'm going to assume. So it's already looking pretty desperate, to which point her attack is up in her regular attack, and she's going to go into her flurry of a claw attack, which the giant swipes down and misses. The second claw, though, catches him off guard as it slashes into his chest. And then the third biting attack comes through and manages to also get through, putting the giant now in pretty rough shape. Next up is another frost giant who is going to spend both of its turns obviously attacking, which is a hit on the dragon and another hit. So 2 more massive axe attacks slice into Ausendrag, as she's now very eminently losing the fight, and you don't think she's going to last a whole lot longer. Sunlit, I'm going to let you go, as another frost giant is chopping into her, and I'll tell you if they missed or not. Yeah, but go ahead and do your turn. But moral of the story, you can tell that Eisendrag is losing this fight.
Yeah,
pretty badly.
Not much that we can really do about it, because I've got a fucking frost giant in my face. So what she's gonna do is she's gonna reach down under her hip, and she's gonna take off her weapon that she likes so much, and she's gonna kind of start just whipping it around, just kind of slowly, and goes, "There's a dragon over there, you know. it's not. I'm not really a threat here. And she just takes the not sharp end of it, and just slings it right at the giant's face. And I hope to be able to hit it. And if I hit it, then the cool stuff that this thing does, hopefully, maybe I'll knock it over or something. And then I can run away. Yeah, let's see if these things work. Please, dice, don't fuck me now. Don't fuck me. Please fuck me. We're gonna die.
Fucked you for sure. All right, you got another attack, don't you?
Yeah. So she misses and she swings it around again. I'm not going to use flurry of blows this time. I'm just going to do another attack with it.
Okay. Got to roll 15 or higher. There you go.
All right. So if I attack a giant, I get actually a second D6, and it has to beat a 15 strength throw or be knocked prone. Oh man, max damage though. How nice is that? 17 damage. Now it's just another D6. It doesn't get the modifier the second time, right?
Correct.
Okay, so yeah, but it's max damage. I hit it for 17. He needs to make a strength throw against 15.
He rolled a 13 on his strength saving throw. Is that a save?
He falls down prone.
Nice.
I hit him perfectly in the temple, and it knocks him kind of goofy, and it knocks him onto his ass.
Yeah, so he falls back. Ugh.
Okay. Can't really get too far. I don't think I can. I think I need to try to take the cover because he's going to get back up. He's going to try to hit me, but I'm in 3/4 cover. So
remember that cover doesn't mean shit against melee though. Not to crush your dreams.
Right. Yeah. Fuck. Wait, well, if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's here? What's this open space in between where I am?
As you actually look at that, you would see that that's like a break in the wall itself, and it kind of leads into like this naturally dug out, like kind of ice hole.
How far down does it go?
As far as you can see, you could run into it, probably your full movement, and it's not really of giant size. So looking at that, you would see that he would probably struggle to get in there. Like he would have to squeeze.
Yeah, she's going to do exactly that. So I'm going to move into this area.
All right. So you just kind of move back in. Obviously, I think you have a little bit more movement to get further in, don't you? Or is that all you move?
Yeah, I have 40 feet. So,
40. So yeah, you could put yourself in a little bit further, but that's basically 40 feet to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Belladora is going to take her attack, and now that the
Livy, something Belladora.
Yeah. What is she going to do though? Because firing at that guy who's prone is actually disadvantaged technically. So she sees Livy take a bench to the face and just like, leave my friend alone, and steps out, crossbow, fling. Misses. God damn it.
Damn it, Belladora.
Giant picks himself up, which uses half of his movement. And then does he actually have enough to get to you with 20? Let's see here. I don't think he does. 5, 10, 15, 20. He does not have enough to get to you, actually. But oh yeah, he can throw his axe. Sorry. So let's throw his axe at you. Okay. Luckily, you can only do that once though, so it does hit, but the axe is gone. So if you survive it, he's axeless, and that is a total of 17 damage.
No, it doesn't do it.
All right.
Do the trick, but you can put it on me. I'm at 30. I mean, so.
All right.
Or do you want me to just do it? I can do it.
I can do it. I got it. I'm right in front of it. All right. That puts up Nurth, the frost giant who now kind of walks out the dry dock and carries himself around, and he's waving to all the other frost giants like, we already got the dry dock cleaned up. We put the barbarians on it. We're gonna go help the others at the temple. To which none of them are really like paying attention to them. Like they're just inexplicably explaining themselves as they go because no one really seems to be paying. So they're just kind of like walking through. And they spend their turn getting about literally maybe one more turn away from the temple. Warrendale, I'm assuming I'm going to give you a chance, but you're not going to do anything right until you get there.
Right.
All right. Livy, a giant bench just hits you square in the face and almost knocks you unconscious. You probably don't want to take another one of those.
Yeah. This
Actually,
time she's gonna be a little more smart though. She's gonna shoot once again at the Frost Giant 5, but she will take cover.
Yeah.
Instead of just kind of staying there taunting him. She'll try and
Yeah, good idea.
attention, but still.
All right, so crossbow weight.
Yes, here we go. Attack number 1. And
Nice.
attack number 2.
Nice.
Which where'd it go?
That's number 2. We didn't see it. That's weird.
Well, it's a 10 plus another 8, so 18.
That'll do it.
All right. Let's see if I can at least get my rolls in. There's a 10 and a go. 3 plus 5, 8. So 18 points.
All right. 2 more fiery bolts kind of shoot into this frost giant, and he's just getting like more and more mad. Like, cut that out! That stings. Which this time you duck back under cover. I'm not running. I'm gonna crush you.
I should go further back, just so in the hopes that when he goes around that corner, he's like, "Damn it! Which way?"
All right. So I'll say that you can use your movement to get yourself cover. Now, interestingly enough, is that where you want to stand? Because where you're going to stand is probably going to matter in terms of cover. So I'm going to let you pick. Keeping in mind that this map is massive, right? So that like pillar itself right here is like 10 feet wide. So you can get pretty much full cover if you stand there. But if you want to stand over here, obviously full cover too.
Yeah, I'd like to be around that corner just because she's anticipating him coming up to where she was and then looking around the corner. And so hoping that it'll kind of throw him just a little bit.
All right. Ambitious hopes.
Oh, yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah. I'm going to die.
All right. Let's see something here. Interesting. Okay. So next up, the frost giants that are on the dry docks are making their movement. And as they start to get towards the temple, they start to hear the sounds of like obviously chaos that no one is necessarily near enough to pay attention to, but they're like kind of walking up toward the steps towards this giant temple, and they hear like smashing and thudding and like the growl of a dragon and like the sounds of combat, and they're like, "What the hell is your friends doing? They've already engaged. They're gonna get us caught."
I hear the sounds of a dragon. Perhaps the dragon caused others. Hurry up, get in there.
We have to help them. We have to make sure that those that are going to help us with the coup are still on our side. So you should be able to pick out the ones that you know are for the cause.
Right. And then the other giant in the temple is number 5. All right. So he is going to, seeing that you duck around the corner, he's not a complete idiot. So he's going to take his steps, which let me make sure he can actually move this far. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, he's able to get out here. To which he sees you on the opposite side of the wall, which is why I said that the cover really mattered where you were going to hide. And he is going to chuck a rock at you. Interestingly enough, though, I measured it out, and that's just on the cusp of his disadvantage. So he does have to roll at disadvantage, but he has a massive modifier. So good luck, Livy. Oh, I rolled a 17 and an 18.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, that's okay, because as she sees that rock coming, she's like, "Shield! Ta-da!" And just kind of feeds that rock up and over her with her spell.
What does it boost your AC up to?
7.
+5, so it'd be 20.
20. He rolled. I think I tell you what I rolled first before you use it. So he rolled a 26.
Oh, okay. I thought when you said
Yeah, sorry. 17 plus modifier. Sorry.
Okay.
I should have specified that. My bad.
She just looks at this rock kind of going, "Fuck." Just
Yeah.
like,
I'm gonna cast shield, but then you realize that the rock is like so massive that it's probably not going to be quick enough.
can't even like concentrate to form this. Well, I hope you roll natural ones on the damage die. Just saying.
No, I didn't. You take another 19 damage.
Well, she's making the snow red around her. So.
Poof! You're thudded by a big rock as you pick the wrong side for cover. I'm sorry. Next up is the giants fighting the dragon. So I believe that's going to be a lot of NPC fighting for me. Who's up next? It will be actually that's enough for me to have to wait a couple. So give me a couple seconds here as these guys duke it out. This giant is fighting Ausendrag, who I forgot to mention is literally on the fringe of death, and I forgot to do her damn legendary actions again. So I'm going to do those. Apparently, I'm just going to do.
I'm in favor of you like catching up on all those legendary actions that you've missed out on.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that for you guys. Oh, this is interesting. She'll definitely do this. She's going to do a wing attack, which is going to charge up a bunch of her or use a bunch of her charges, but it makes them all make a dexterity saving throw, so that might actually help her. Because if she takes another round of attack, she's definitely dead. All right, that one fails. That one fails. And nice. That's some really bad rolls, which is very favorable to you guys. So the wing attack knocks all 3 of them prone. And they all take the full damage. So that's that to them. And then that to him. And then number 3 as the last one. Like that. And then her second tail attack will be spent on the guy that she has already beaten down pretty heavily. And she is able to crush finally the first of the frost giants.
Number 3 is gone, right?
Yeah, number 3 is now gone, which was the one that was going to attack actually. So that's really lucky. And now her turn is actually up. So as she takes it, the other 2 giants are still prone. And then she's like bleeding everywhere, and like a big chunk of her wing is actually chunked out, and you don't know if she'll actually be able to fly. But just like in an absolute frenzy, she's now more feral than anything. I'll kill you all. And she'll go into an attack, which is going to be at advantage on the other one, and that's going to hit. And then hit. I'm actually going to make sure she doesn't crit at advantage. So no, but she hit with her first 2 attacks, and that's actually a miss, but the second one is a hit. So all 3 attacks go down on the first frost giant. So here's some damage on him. And then a bite attack. All right. And what kind of shape is he in afterwards? He is almost bloodied, as scary as that probably is for you guys. Yeah. Picks himself up. You are the one that's going to die, dragon. Swings. Misses.
Miss again.
Swings.
Missed.
Missed again.
Thank you.
Sunlit. Actually, I might as well do this because she literally might die if she takes another hit. The second frost giant that's still fighting her engages. Oh, that's a hit. Damn, just a hit. All right. So Eisendrag, as the one readies up, you're the one who's going to die. Parries the first attack. Parries the second attack. She starts to get confidence to her and starts to laugh. You giants can't destroy. And then the second giant on her flank completely chops her head off as I knock my headphones out of my ear. Eisendrag, completely beheaded, now lays dead on the ground.
I like how you kind of chuckle about that. Like, I just killed the dragon.
Absolutely. Sunlit, you're now up as things have gone from bad to so much worse.
This is gonna be a fucking wipe. How exciting. Yeah, you know what I mean. There's really nothing better that I can do than to shoot at it twice with my the hard end again, and hopefully I knock it out. So let's try it. Let's try it. Well, first one hits.
Nice.
And the second one also hits. So that's. I'm going to do the slashing damage first. That's okay. So that's 19, and then I get 2 more d6, and it's got to make 2. What to do these?
2 saving throws.
Yeah, saving throws against 15. So it's
Okay.
11 plus it's 30 damage.
Jesus, I rolled in that one. 30 damage in total?
He falls down on the first one.
Yeah, nice.
All right, and now it's pretty freaking nice. Does this go outside?
No, it leads into like basically like this tiny little ice tunnel. You don't really know why it's melted in this way, but it continues down. And if you were to spend your next movement going into it further, it would no longer be able to reach you, but you don't really know where you're heading.
All right, I'm gonna. Can I, as my movement, and can I use half my movement to push the axe down the slide?
I see what you're thinking, but give me a. I'm gonna say give me.
Ride the goddamn axe down the slide. She's gonna jump in the axe and ride it on the slide.
All right, give me a. Let's just say athletics to see if you can get enough momentum to move it. I would say normally that you wouldn't be that hard, but since you already took your attack action, that's normally would be an action thing. But I'll give you a chance at least.
I only got a +1 to it anyway, so. No.
Yeah, so you jump on it and it kind of just like digs into the ground. The way he threw it, it's like sunk into the ground, right? So you kind of like run at it, obviously not using like an action, and it doesn't move. So now you're faced with the decision where if you spend an action to actually go through the effort, you'll probably be able to dislodge it, but then he'll be able to get you. On the other hand, you can just run down the tunnel and hope for the best.
Yeah, she's gonna move 30 feet down. No, another 15 feet because I'm 15 feet from it right now. It says so. I'm gonna move 15 feet from it so that I can still shoot it with laser beams.
Okay. So yeah, you just buck back to a point where he can't reach you.
Yeah, where he won't be able to reach me, and but it should make it so I should be able to laser beam his ass.
All right, Belladora is up, and she is going to kind of yell out, "Livy, no!" and run up to you, and she is going to use one of her potions to stabilize you, giving you a whopping 7 HP.
It's more than dead.
And that is her last potion that she has. And she says, "This has gone bad. Eisendrag's dead. I don't know where Sunlit is. We got to get the heck out of here." Next up is Frost Giant that is laying prone, picks himself up and starts to like come over to where you are, Sunlit, and he is going to spend his action to pick up his axe, and he starts slamming away at it, which is breaking the tunnel at a pretty surprising rate, and you hear it starting to like fall behind you also. So he's going to take 2 attacks to just kind of like chunk at it and see what he does. First one just slams into it powerfully, breaking away a good part of it, and you like question if he's going to be able to like get to you at this point. And then the second attack slams into it, a little less powerful, but you hear things like starting to like crack and move around above you.
Wonderful.
Nerth, finally, as we're like kind of like slow fast walking because they know the things are desperate, but doesn't want to cause too much of a distraction, walks into the temple. And you guys hear absolute chaos of like fighting Octavius, Warren, and the gang. And he just kind of calls in, and as he walks in, he's, "Is everything okay in here, guys?" To which none of them really answer. Warren, you're up next.
Yeah, it all depends on what he does. So I'll just basically hold my action. I mean,
he makes it to about here, and you get a peek that there is a slain dragon on the ground, 2 dead frost giants, 2 frost giants off to your west, where they're in this hallway where there's these statues of past frost giants, and they're like swinging their axes just fairly at a hole in the wall. And then you look around, you don't actually see any of your friends actually.
Oh shit! He says, "It looks like the Jarl's already caught onto us. Look at the chaos is here. I heard he was going to let the dragons loose. Who's on our side? I forget the guy's name, but
Nerth.
Nerth, who's on our side? We need to hurry before the Jarl lets loose the other dragon. I heard he was going to."
You think that the Jarl would make friends with a dragon? Deception check.
Well, of course I do. He heard about you fellows overthrowing them. He needs some sort of backup, doesn't he? What better distractions than to let the dragons loose to kill you all? Not that they will. Puny things.
Where are your friends that are supposed to help us? I'm confused. These are just 4 of the Jarl's crew, and the dragon's dead, so...
I don't know. Look for the small, puny people like us. I don't see them either. Perhaps your friends are hacking away at him over there. Are all these giants your friends? Are they helping us? We were only told of you two.
Yeah, he thinks that they're
loyal. Nerth.
He thinks they're loyal to the Jarl for sure. And he doesn't really know what to do. He's like, these guys are pretty tough.
Octavius, what should we do?
Octavius, you get a free quick speak action if you want to say something really quickly.
Octavius would look up at Nerf and look on. He'd be like, "Well, if then they're all against us, then we should fight. We will all fight together. Let's go. My friends are powerful."
Persuasion check again.
Yeah, hold
on. Yes.
Come on,
very
baby.
Powerful.
16.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad. Let's see what the wisdom of Nerth thinks. Give me a second here. Charms! He yells out. Jesus, he rolled a 3.
I love you, Nerth.
Livy,
Nerth.
You're now up. As you come back to consciousness, Belladora is above you, kind of like lifting up your head, feeding you this potion. We got to get out of here. This is bad.
Yes. The dragon's dead. Shoot. Yeah. And she'll like stumble to her feet and just look down. Dagger is at the frost giant number 5, and just like that looks in general vicinity. I don't see an exit other than passing the current giants. So let's do a recommendation.
Give me a perception check if you're trying to look for like getaways.
Yeah. Skill, perception. I got a good bopping. +2. What? So I rolled a 12 plus 14. 2 for 14.
14. So things you see if you're looking at the map itself, directly like east away from you, like a long way away, like let's see, 240 feet away from you long, or 230 feet away, is like a back door. Also up towards your north, about 100 feet away, seems to be like this cold or like opening of water that sinks down below into like darkness. But you subject whether, or you think to yourself whether jumping into ice cold water would just be a death upon its own. And then obviously you can see that Sunlit has kind of made her way into some kind of hole, but you doubt very much you can get to that one. And then other than that, to your probably fears, you see another frost giant enter the room and seems to be like talking to himself or something.
Yeah, she's just like, well, Laura, I'm going to try and hop from pillar to pillar in the hopes that that'll give me some cover to get to those doors. If we're lucky, they'll be easy to push open and we can squeeze through them. I don't know.
All right, so where do you want to go?
She'll go to the first pillar over here, yoink. But before she completely rounds the corner, she'll be like, be sure to run because I'm going to piss off that frost giant real quick. As she tries to just do another 2 shots at him before huge over another.
Livy's been clutch with that Maiden's Garden, though. I don't think you've missed a shot yet since you got it.
Don't jinx me.
2 more hits.
Good. There's 6 fire and another 6 fire. Cool.
Nice.
And then she's like, over here, and she will try and hug this pillar as closely as she can in the hopes that, please don't have seen me, please don't have seen me, please don't have seen me, please don't have seen me.
Yeah, and for the record, that giant that you've been shooting into pretty much is on the verge of death now in terms of giant.
Hallelujah.
Still got a little bit of way in terms of what you small folk can do, but he is definitely past the bloodied point.
Good.
Sirik in the bag now hears you guys like it's time to fight, and he's just like, Nurth, let us out. We can't fight from this bag. To which Nurth kind of drops the bag with a thud. You guys all hit the ground, and like he pulls himself out. Kind of looking around, he doesn't see his friends. Just like, shit, what do we do, guys?
Except for Livy skirting across.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if he sees Livy. We'll give him a perception check. That's a very good point. 7. He probably didn't see you. Just like
I could roll a stealth in case she's like had a really bad stealth, and then maybe he saw her.
I doubt that. I feel like he'd probably just be focusing on the giants around him and like looking around. To which he just says, "Here, Nurth, if you're gonna fight, I'll get one of their attentions." And he pulls out his blow dart because that's the only range that he has. And blow darts frost giant number 5 in the ass. It actually hits.
In the ass.
Hits the frost giant number 5 in the ass with a blow dart. Just
Please tell me that they're like those sleeping darts, right? So he's gonna like
they're super regular darts. Just like a little pinprick in the giant's ass. He's just like, hey, who did that? He looks around and Nurth is standing there. Nurth, what the hell's wrong with you? And then he looks back and just, we're overthrowing the place. We're the new Jarls now, me and Broshin. And then lifts up his axe and gets ready to fight. Broshin, who is the other guy that's with you guys, will walk in and he just picks up, yeah, we're both going to be Jarls. So, there. And then he just grabs a rock and chucks it at the frost giant, hitting him. This might actually kill him. Boof! Huge rock hits him, almost knocking him back into the other one. He is on the brink of death for sure. That puts him up next, though. And just like, what the hell's wrong with you guys, you filthy traitors? You'll never be strong enough to be a Jarl. Sorry. Charges at them with the axe. You guys laying on the ground in the sack haven't really pulled yourself out yet. And the battle between Nurth and this frost giant begin. Rolling a nat 1 on the first strike. He's so badly injured that he can barely lift up his axe, but he readies himself and swings again. This one it's slicing into Nurth, hitting him, and that puts Octavia's Ren up. You hit a thud on the ground as you kind of hit in the bag. You're trying to dig your way out. Sirik gets ahead of you, causes this diversion, and then now there's, as you pull yourself out, a frost giant foot right beside your face, and there's just these 2 massive frost giants engaged in battle above you.
I'm gonna try to scan the room to see if I can see any one of my friends.
Perception check, I will say. 16. Looking between the legs of this one frost giant, right in front of you, frost giant number 5, towards the west, you see Sunlit like backed up into this tiny little hole. She looks terrified probably, and there's this frost giant just like slamming his axe into this little ice cave, trying to get her out.
All right, How far away from me is that?
Quite far. In terms, let me just sorry. Let's see if I can. God damn it, that's in the way. So let's do that, and you are about 60 feet away, and that's about 60 or 50 feet away from the giant, and she's like further back in the tunnel, another, I think 30 feet. So she's about 80 feet away from you.
Yeah, I'll run about 30 feet away from where he is now towards the other giant, and then when I come up within like 20 or 15 feet of the giant, I'll whip out my light crossbow and I'll fire off a bolt.
Okay, at the one attacking.
See if I can
Sunlit?
distract him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll try to hit him somewhere in the shoulders or above the shoulders just to see if I can distract him.
Okay.
There goes your good string of luck.
Yeah.
Distraction, not a
same
compass.
time though, whizzes by his head and probably chunks into the ice above him. Octavius will still yell at him and say, "Hey, hey, hey! Over here! Over here! Look over here!" And he will do his best to see if he can gain the giant's attention.
All right. Give me a performance.
I will do that.
Guess I could put you guys on the map now too, since you're here. All right,
you 14.
14. Yeah, he doesn't seem that interested in you. He's fixated on this little tiny kitty that he sees it as. I threw Warren and you guys on the map now, though, so you guys should be able to interact with your tokens.
How do we bring the map back up?
Click on the here. I'll just reshare it to you guys. It's the quickest way. Should see it now.
Yep.
All right. That puts up next in the combat. Where are we? Frost Giant number 1 first. And what is he gonna do now that this is? He sees the combat going on between Nurth and them, and just kind of momentarily confused, just like, "Hey, what the hell are you guys doing? Stop this!" Trying to calm them down, to which they say that Nurth is a traitor. Nurth and Broshen have betrayed us and are trying to overthrow the Jarl. He laughs at that. Nurth and Broshen overthrow the Jarl? Come on. You can't be serious. They're the 2 biggest idiots in this camp. He has a good belly laugh about it. To which Sir Beric now climbs out of the bag. And he is going to pull out his maul and attack the Frost Giant number 5, who is almost dead, hitting him right in the shin and doing only 6 damage, but it's enough to finish him off. As he stubs him right in the toe, the giant instinctively goes to grab at his toe, and as he does so, he just completely leaves himself defenseless, and Nurth just chops his head right off. That Frost Giant is down. Now that puts up the second Frost Giant, who's seeing this go down and seeing the Frost Giants kind of turn on their own buddies, will grab a piece of bench and chuck it at Nurth. You're going to pay for that, you traitor. Hitting him and doing 28 damage to Nurth. Sunlit, you're now up, and as you look around, this cave is starting to crumble before you, and you're kind of entrapped, but you hear the voice of Octavius. Thank God. Although the giant doesn't seem to care.
Right. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I was just reading something. I just don't really know what the spell does. Give me just 2 seconds. Alright, I'm going to burn all the rest of my key, and I'm going to do my Searing Arc Strike.
Okay.
At level 2 in theory.
Okay.
And
do you have to make it save?
That's Burning Hands.
Dex, I believe.
At level 2, it is a dexterity saving throw.
He only rolled a 13. It's a good chance that he may fail.
Yeah, I think it's. Let me make sure what it is for that because I don't know 100%. Let me see what my DC and that is. Strike. Doesn't really say, so it would. Doesn't say.
Your DC? It would be your wisdom plus your proficiency plus 8.
So 8 plus 3 plus my wisdom is a 14.
14? He failed.
Okay, so he's gonna take 46. Right? Is that what that is?
Yep. Sounds about right to me. Or 46?
40, yeah, 46 fire damage.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Yeah. Um. What can I do this? No, I don't think I do that. So, is there any way to roll 46 rather than just roll a 6 4 times?
Grab the D6 and right click 4 times or 3 times.
Oh. I can't do that because I have one mouse button. Okay.
10.
Wait. Try 5. What? That didn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still didn't work. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just gonna roll it 4 times.
What you got going on? I see a 5 and a 4. Okay, another 4. One more. So that's 12, 17 damage. Very nice.
Yeah. And yeah.
So what does that look like as you chunk him to a bloodied state?
Yeah, she just she kind of drops the thing that has a name that I can't say yet onto the ground as everything is falling against her, and just instinctively she just holds her hands together. She rubs them together for a second, and she presents both of her palms to him. And instead of the radiant damage that usually comes out of her hand, it looks like 2 just arcing flames that come out of her hands, and they go right into his chest as he's chunking onto the ice above her.
Very nice. Belladora up next. Loads her crossbow.
It ignites any flammable objects in the area that isn't being worn or carried. So if there's anything around us that could be set on fire, there would be.
Maybe like a little bit of debris beneath his feet.
Okay, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm sure maybe there's a whole bunch of those like pews or whatever that were in here that maybe would have helped, but
yeah, there's like a couple, but there's nothing sizable in this hallway. But yeah, you can light a couple things underneath his feet. Belladora missed both of her attacks, unfortunately. Or
clearly,
yeah,
that's what she did.
She's off to a blaring start. That giant is now up, and he is going to spend his attack to chunk it away, and now he just kind of blasts it open. And he is in reaching terms for you, but he spent his action doing that. So unless you go further into the hole now, he's going to be on top of you.
Oh yeah, I would have moved another 30 feet back.
Okay, so if you move 30 feet back, then that kind of adds a whole different problem. Because as he's slamming into this, chunks of ice are starting to fall. And if you move another 30 feet back in, that's actually at a point where like you would need to do a dex save to not be swallowed by ice chunks falling on the ground. So up to you. You would notice this as you're like looking behind you. You would see that things are kind of getting hairy back there. So it's either like stand toe to toe with this guy or risk having an avalanche fall on top of you, or like an ice slide.
Would my climbing speed come into that at all?
It's not really climbing. It's just like pretty much like it's like
no,
it's like a little bit of a slide, but not really enough to like matter.
And it's just a tunnel, right? There's no.
Yeah, it's just a tunnel. You don't really know where it's going.
Yeah. Yeah, she would. She would. Yeah, she would. She'd stay put where she's at.
Okay. All right. That puts up Nerth, the brave traitor of Vardberg. And he's going to storm ahead and say, I'll show you who the weak idiot is, and engage with the one that was laughing at him. Nerth lets forth 2 powerful attacks. Natural 19, so that's definitely a hit. And then another hit. Nerth, the brave warrior, slams into his once brother in arms, but now someone who is not worthy of serving underneath him. And almost kills him in one go because he's already injured. Jesus. Warrendale, you're now up, and the time is for action. Nerth is engaged with 2 frost giants. You see that another frost giant that is engaged with Livy or Sunlit is standing off with him. And yeah, that's about it.
I've heard him pretty good, haven't I?
What's that?
I've heard him pretty good, haven't I?
Yeah, you have. He's bloodied.
Yeah.
Seeing Octavius run forward and Nerth move forward, Warren will rush forward as well. For the mighty Nerth. And he's just going to run towards where Octavius did it. Obviously, he must have seen. Probably don't see Sunlight at the moment, but Octavius must have or whatever. So I'm just going to shoot off a firebolt at the giant and run towards Octavius, get as far as I can.
A firebolt, okay. Go ahead.
And it would be against whatever that one is that's trying to hit. Suni.
Oh, natural 20, first of the night.
How do you do it? Does it times it by 2, or do you
It
roll?
should do it automatically if you pick the damage
Yeah.
itself.
Okay,
See what does
let's
it though.
Oh, yep.
Whew!
Nice.
22 damage. Very nice. That puts him in a pretty bad state. Close to death, but not quite. A
That's all
mighty
I'm gonna do
powerful.
besides moving.
All right, a mighty firebolt springs from your hand and lights this giant his back on fire. He yells out in pain, tries to like put it out as he's doing so. He's like stepping, and he steps on one of the pews that Sunlit lit on fire. I'll give him a dex save to see if he falls over. He does not. Puts out the fire, looks back at you, kind of confused as to where all these small folk are coming from. Livy, you're now up.
For the mighty Nerth.
Traitors of Nurse. And then Livy, you're now up. You see all this unfolding before you. 2 frost giants fighting another frost giant that somehow you don't know how your friends managed to do it, but they seem to befriend another set of frost giants.
Are the giants speaking common?
In hindsight, probably I'm gonna say they have to be for now because I've been speaking in common for them this far. So yeah, these ones are.
I speak giant though.
Yeah, it's kind of like pretty bad common, like a lot of like common slurred with giant. So
Okay. I can see like hearing this weird debate between the giants and peeking around, just like, one of them's fighting. Well, but I guess before I completely escape while they're engaged, I can Frost Giant 1.
Yep.
Few more
he's on the brink of death.
into the back. Look how bloody he is. And who knows, maybe the other giant that seems to be having a disagreement with him won't eat me or something. So
2 more hits, Jesus.
woo.
Man, I am liking this Maiden's Garden.
Me too. That was a 3 plus 5 for 8.
I don't think she's rolled under 20 yet.
12 there. So 20 to
20 in total?
Yep.
All right. Describe what it looks like as you take out a giant with Maiden's Garden.
she just feels more confident suddenly in the, hey, he's not even looking at me. So, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And she just kind of has that moment back when she was in the garden facing that shadow beast and just deep breaths, really focusing, just letting out each and just it's just the bolts fire off and just erupt in the back of this frost giant and down he goes. You are muted, by the way, in case you're trying to say anything to us.
I sure am trying to say a lot of things.
I was like, oh, this is awkward. It got so quiet. I'm sorry. I'm not good with descriptions, but there you go.
I said it's super cool, and then More of the story next up. Sorry, Cyric is up next. The mighty Cyric and his treacherous weapon, which not quite as powerful as Maiden's Garden, the mighty blow dart. He what's the range on this stupid thing? I imagine it's probably not that far. 20 feet, so he has to get pretty close. He's gonna take his movement to get here and blow dart giant number 4. Let's see if we can do it. Missing. Broshin is now up. He's going to ready himself and just saying, yeah, me and Nurth, we aren't dumb. We're going to be the best leaders this fortress has ever seen. And we'll chuck a boulder at Frost Giant number 2, hitting. And injuring him pretty decently. I can't see where Frost Giant number 2 is. Let me find him in the initiative tracker. He's not bloodied yet. That puts the 5th Frost Giant up, who is dead. I'm not sure how he made it in the initiative tracker still. Octavius, you know what? Somehow, out of pure, basically, wit from you convincing these giants, you have turned an unwinnable fight into a potentially winnable one. So what do you do now?
Octavius will look back at Nerf and he'll yell, Jarl Nerf, Jarl Broshan, we must win this fight. It's small victories like this that'll assure your success. And at that point, he will... Oh, where's my damn sheet? Sorry, hold on. I closed.
No
there we go.
You can have inspiration, Dan. You're killing me tonight.
All right, I will cast, I believe this is what I want to cast, Beacon of Hope. Spell bestows hope and vitality.
Okay.
I'm going to, all creatures within range, so for the duration, each target has advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws, and regains the maximum number of hit points possible from any healing.
Nice.
So I'll cast that out within, like, feet of myself, and that should do, hopefully, anybody that's within range that's on my side.
Okay. That's your action
And,
to do that?
Yeah, and then I'll just that'll be it. I'll just stand there and still try to continue to get the attention of Frost Giant number 4.
So if you look at that circle that I put around you, that's your 30-foot aura. So if you want to, you're technically not having sunlit in it, but you could easily move forward a bit and then sunlit, and pretty much everybody but Sir Barrick would be in it. You would need to move pretty close to the giant to get everyone in it, though. See where I have you?
Yeah, let's do it. We'll do it.
Okay. All right. There you go.
So even Broshin is in that.
Broshin, yeah, technically he'd be in it. Just kind of touching it. All right. From the eastern side, the 2 front doors, you see them kicked open. And walking through is this massive hulking form. It looks bearded and has this big helmet on it and a giant great axe in its hand. And as he steps forth through the shadows, you see Harshnag has kicked his way in, and he throws down a giant, like, climbing pickaxe onto the ground and readies Gert up. And he kind of steps in and says, "Am I late for the fun?"
I was like, Harshnag!
Sir Barrick is now up next, and he is going to run forth. Does he even have enough movement to get to the giant? Let's see here. He can just barely make it. And he is going to run forth and take a swing at this giant. Boom, 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 boom. All right. He yells out, "For honor! For North!" And manages to hit the giant. And that does not obviously take him down, but that puts the other giant up, who now being the only one left will kind of, all right,
Yeah.
Enough!
You can't see the other side.
Enough! I surrender! Clearly, the great Jarl of Nurth and Vroshen are fearless leaders. Please spare me. Sunlit, you're next up to act after that. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah. All right. So that's 4 still in front of me right here, right?
Yes.
All right. And he looks pretty bad.
He's bloody, not necessarily pretty bad.
Pretty bad. Okay. So I look at the giant, and I've heard everything she understands giant as well. So she just looks at him and says, "I think in giant, I think you might be outnumbered, and you look behind me. Those are my friends." And she sees if he does any aggressive movement towards her, and if she does, I'm going to smash him in the head with my thing again.
Yeah, so you're just trying to see if he surrenders?
Yeah.
All right. He doesn't look like he's into that.
Yeah.
Surrender to puny folk? Never. I'd rather die.
Yeah, I'm smashing him in the face with the counter.
All right. Go ahead.
And oh man, why couldn't it have been one more? Yeah, so I hit him twice.
He saved on the first one, but failed on the second save.
So he falls down again.
Yep.
Man, this freaking giant slayer is coming in handy.
And now he is pretty close to dead.
Wait, hold on. I still got 2 more dice.
10 more? Very close to dead.
Very close to it. Man, I didn't drop them. And I don't have enough to do. I used all my keys, so I couldn't use flurry rolls to get one more hit. So
right. Let Belladora swoop in and steal your kill. She steps up and readies her crossbow. No, fucking Belladora is useless this game. Apparently, she's missed every single turn.
Yeah, she's missed everything she's done.
Sorry, guys, I'm normally much better at this. This giant picks himself up. On the fringe, just one arm's badly bloody. He's kind of like lit on fire from Warrendale. The pews are burning beneath his feet, and he just says, "I may die today, but I'll take one of you with me." And that is going to be focused on you, Sunlit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry in advance. I didn't roll, but I rolled a 3 plus his modifier, so I'm pretty sure that's a miss. Yeah, that's what's your AC? Yeah, he missed for sure. And then his second attack is a hit. So here it comes. Oof. 25 damage, which I believe knocks you unconscious.
It's exactsies.
Die, foul cat creature. To which Nurth the Mighty.
I don't get to give my kill.
Sorry, dude.
That's what I did. Okay.
Engages, and he is going to hit. Nurth is freaking clutch. Okay, he hit again. Jesus.
The mighty Nurth.
The mighty Nurth is a warrior that shall not be denied his jarldom.
Oh, so he's not letting him yield to him. He's just jumping on him.
Oh yeah, he forgot he's gonna kneel. No, Jarl Nurth takes no prisoners. I guess. He just starts cutting into him. I forgot about that completely. Warrendale, 2 of the enemy frost giants are left. Both are basically like 1 hit away from dying.
All right, I'm just firing off at the same one again then. In the distance, can I see Livy? Like, I know she's way far down back, but
yeah, she would have stepped out and took a shot and then stepped back under, I think. So you would have seen her, yeah.
All right. As soon as he sees her, whatever, he just waves her forward and kind of gives her the thumbs up, like he's got this. And yeah, I'm just gonna fire about that same one again.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, on number 4, the one on Suni anyway.
Yep.
Suni.
That is. Let me make sure. But
Oops,
I'm pretty sure.
I think I did the wrong. Well, it doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah, I wrote, or I wasn't the wrong. Yeah.
No, he did.
I did a frost on accident, but
same damage though.
No, it's more. Or yeah, firebolt would have been more.
Okay. You can do your firebolt instead.
Okay.
11. All right, that's not enough to take him down. Actually, one more like kiss would probably take him
I was
down.
going to say, can I spend a sorcery point to re-roll my 2?
Yeah,
All right, well, maybe I can get a little better.
there you go.
There you go.
That's enough. Describe what it looks like as you take him down.
So yeah, he waves towards Livy, to motion her down forward so we can get the hell out of here. Turn towards, I don't know this giant's name, but giant number 4. You can see the flames just erupt around him, still coalescing around him from the shot before. This bright bluish, red, purple color. His hair flows back, and he just lets out this another blast of flame that races across the ground and engulfs poor giant number 4.
All right.
His eyes pop and sizzle.
Rip giant number 4. Very cool. Livy, you're up next. The last enemy frost giant is trying to surrender, but Nurth the mighty is not having any of it. Nurth the merciless.
I think she's just kind of still in this like, I heard that those giants are fighting against giants, and well, I'm going to. And I see horned elephant. That's good. So we're just going to pop off 2 more shots at frost giant number 2 and scurry on over to the other pillar to get closer to Harshnag, because that's a giant she knows she can trust.
All right, go ahead.
There's our first. Where is it? Didn't catch the number.
Yeah, it didn't show up.
That's 13 plus 8 for 21, and
Natural 20.
But that one.
Natural 20 it was.
It was?
Yeah, I seen it on my screen.
Okay, cool.
I'm not sure how it's not showing up in the chat, but
yeah. And 9 points because the second attack missed.
Okay. And did you double your damage
No, I didn't.
for the crit? Go ahead and roll another dice. That's not 13 though. It's 8, so a total of 17 damage is enough to describe what it looks like as you take him down.
Explosions are happening on one side, and another wonderful flower bolt with fire just peels out as she runs across and right into the neck of the frost giant, taking him down.
He drops down.
Like, I'm scurrying over here. Hi, Harshnag.
All right. The giants have been defeated. Nurth and Broshan kind of like give a cheer, like, we did it! We actually did it!
Jarl Nurth.
We're going to be Jarls!
You already are Jarls.
Octavius will run over to Sunlit and start to cure wounds on Sunlit, but he'll yell to Jarl Nerf and Jarl Broshan. Now is the time, my friends. It is the time that you should go and on the Jarl. We are to go fly the flag, and when he comes out under the water is your time to kill him, and then we'll bring you back the flag. But we must escape now. So band together, the rest of them, and go and fight. Go, now is the time. Nice victory.
Jesus, give me a persuasion. This one's actually at disadvantage. There's no way I'm letting you convince him to just take on the full fortress by himself.
You want inspiration to land?
13.
17 and 10, exactly.
They're like, yeah, take out the Jarl. Yeah, that's a good idea. Wait, I thought you guys were helping us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did help you. Killed half of them.
That's only like 5 of them. There's at least triple that.
But look how mighty you are.
You should go.
Not even a scratch on your brow.
Jarl Nerf, I thought you were smart enough. I'm sorry. You should go release the white dragon. It will help you.
Looks over to the dead one on the ground.
The one that's pulling.
The other one attached to your Jarl's ship.
I would never align
saw
myself
it
with
when
a
you-
filthy dragon. Spits on the ground.
You don't have to align yourself. When him and the Jarl finish battle, you go in for the easy kill.
Harshnag kind of like walks
be nice and
over
easy.
at this time and just kind of looks at both of them. And Harshnag, although much older than these two, is like somehow makes these two frost giants look smaller. And he just looks at them. Nurth, Roshan, it's been a while. To which they like ready their weapons. You're Harshnag the traitor, Harshnag the Grim. And then he looks at them. Well, looks like at least one of our titles are going to be similar. We're going to have a problem, boys. To which they reply, depends if you're going to help us get to Jarldom or not. I know you don't like your brother. Help us defeat him. I don't think that's going to happen, boys. Now, you guys can get out of here alive, and maybe you'll be able to do something. But me and my friends here, we're done. What do the rest of you do? As he looks around, but wait! You guys told us that you would help us. We betrayed our whole clan. You can't leave us now.
Warren's going to run towards the flag on the ground where the sack was dropped and start rolling it back up.
Warren, you said that you pledged yourself to me being the Jarl.
I do. I'll just come back later. Sir, Jarl, Nurth, you can do it. And Roshan, too. Woo.
They're like looking at you like just the look in Narth's eye. Pure betrayal. The Jarl has felt his first backstab all too soon. And he just looks at you all. So now we're outcast. We can't simply take on this whole fortress by ourselves.
Come with us.
Well, we're not stupid enough to take on Harshnag the Grim. Guess we're out of here. And then they start to walk away. Do you let them leave? As I
Somebody
said.
just laid on the ground dead. Because I haven't gotten healed yet.
No, I think Octavio said he healed you. Just didn't roll the. He
So
didn't roll
then,
the.
so then I'll get
Oh, yeah.
max healing because of the
So what spell slot are you spending, Octavius?
Just level 1.
Level 1. All right, so that is what's the max of that? I think it's a D8 plus your.
yeah. I mean, what's the absolute max of it?
I think it was a D8.
And then your
So
modifier.
now I'll get 11. I mean, because you
Yeah.
rolled a 7, but I
Yeah,
get
but-
11.
Yep.
So
Yep.
just one more on that,
Yep,
actually.
11 healing to
One
you.
more there. Yeah, sure.
What's that, sorry?
I said if you could give me one more hit point.
Okay.
Great. Yeah, so she wakes up and she goes, Octavius? Hello?
Hey, son. How's it going?
Did I kill him?
No, I
What
did.
do you got?
I saved your ass again, Sonny.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm never gonna hear the end of that. Wonderful. But I almost did. And that was wow. Those giants are really hard to fight. What's going on here?
You see two sad
we
frost
have to
giants
go.
like leaving.
Leaving is good. And as you see, she's laying on her back, but sunk into the snow. That and strapped to her is an enormous ring that's strapped to her body. I retrieved it, Octavius.
Good job, Sonny. We need to get out of here. Let's
I
go.
think we need to hurry.
Man, she gets up, she dusts herself off, kind of maybe wipes a little bit of blood off of herself, and looks up and goes, "Okay, I know that really big one. Who are these other two?" Oh,
The Jarl Nurth. We are Team Nurth.
They're walking away.
Your name was not Nurse.
2 idiots, Harshnag says.
Are we just gonna let them go? What if they go tell the rest of the place?
Don't you worry.
Maybe they should.
Maybe they
We
should.
could always ask them to come with us, but other than that, we really need to leave.
Well, then maybe we should do that. Because if they alert the rest of the camp, we'll never get out of here.
Yeah,
Took
Harshnag
everything I
says.
had to just,
Get on
to
there.
just try to take on one.
Nurse perks up one last time, looking back at you.
And then Octavius would just look at Harshnag and be like,
Oh, I was gonna say that I climbed up the cliffside mountain to get up here. It was a treacherous climb.
Where's the
"Get on
boat?
there. Do you want to come with us? We could always use an extra hand."
Persuasion.
No, I'm just going to ask him as a friend.
He just says, a real friend would have helped his friend attain Jarldom.
You're a Jarl in my eyes.
Livy jogs up. You guys found us. Whew.
And
All right,
then
let's go.
Nurth and Jarl, or Nurth and Broshin, walk away.
I think we need to hurry.
As our group walks away, and Belladora, join us. Come on.
Yeah, she catches up.
Hey, okay. Oh my gosh. And in the process of them leaving, Livy will just like, oh, by the way, I found something really cool. Look. Crossbow. Really cool. I can't wait to tell you the story about it. But I also found this. Octavius, I seen this symbol on you, and pulls out the box, and ta-da. And Wardell saw the scroll and thought of you.
I found a really cool flag.
Give the scroll an arcane check if you want, Mr. Warrendale. Livy, you could have did the same thing now that things calm down.
Huh. Sure, why not? I'm like, things have calmed down, but she still has like blood down her nose.
Yeah. True story, actually.
Bad right now. I got a 20.
Yeah.
Livy's face looks like she got battered really bad.
Looking at the scrolls and kind of inscriptions on it, you would realize that that's a scroll of greater invisibility. Warrendale.
Oh shit.
And then Octavius, Livy hands you this box. And as you see it, it's like this small kind of like hand-sized looking jewelry box. But all around it, you see the inscription of Ilmater, and it's basically like this god on a rack. And all wrapped around the box are these chains that are like entwined into his skin. You see that there's no keyhole. There's just a finger-sized hole in front of it where a keyhole would be.
I'd shove my ring finger into the hole of the box.
And as you stick your ring finger into the box, you feel a prick as a needle trap goes off. Give me a Constitution saving throw right now.
I'm gonna do that for you. Does that work?
No.
Maybe.
No.
You
Oh.
fall to the ground
Fine then.
unconscious.
Ah,
What
snap.
did you give him?
Oh.
The group kind of looks around as Octavius falls to the ground. Someone goes up, Belladora goes up and shakes him. Like, now's not the time for a snooze, Octavius. Shakes him.
Baby, wake up.
Doesn't wake up. Octavius, you, however, do wake up on your own. You wake up to coincidentally enough, a powerful breeze. At first, warm, kind of like what Livy felt. But as your eyes open, you're met with a torrent of sand that just absolutely pierces into your face and hurts. And as you look around, you now find yourself completely surrounded in a desert. There's scorching heat. Everywhere you look is just sand. You look down and you're now, for some reason, completely naked. The only thing that covers you is your sweat and the sand that is sticking to you from it. As you look around, your friends are completely gone. The heat is almost unbearable, and it's this abrupt like shift from extremely cold to like the hottest you've ever experienced. And as you're looking around in this desert storm that you now find yourself in, you see a distant form that protrudes very far in the distance, but it's obscured by this heavy sandstorm, and you can't make out what it is. What do you do?
Even though Octavius is naked, he would, and in this massive sandstorm, he would be worried about the figure he sees, and he would be trying to get to it as quickly as he could to make sure that it was all right and if it needed help.
You walk. And you walk, and as you walk, the sand just pounds into you, just hitting your face, and it's hard to keep your eyes open. And you head towards this form. And as you're walking, hours go by, days go by, weeks, and then years. 10 long years, Octavios, have passed in but a blur for you. You've been heading towards this figure almost like a zombie at this point, but it never seems to get closer. As we now look at Octavios, we see that he has a long beard and long hair. You see that streaks of white now spot his hair and beard, and he now has somehow, through his years in this desert, at least found some tattered loincloths that he covers himself in to give him a little bit of protection, but still he walks. You see his legs, and they're but skin and bone now. He looks almost skeletal. Your feet are extremely badly charred from walking on the searing sand for so long. The sand itself that's been whipping against your skin for these years has torn away at parts of your flesh. It has actually ripped away part and has exposed the skin on your arms and your chest. And worst yet, your eyes are completely caked with sand. Now the sand has pierced away at your eyes themselves and has actually rendered you completely blind. Your sockets are now filled with sand instead of eyeballs. But still, like The Walking Dead, you continue forward. Sometimes you forget why you're walking, but nonetheless, you head towards this form until you finally can't. You collapse to the ground, unable to carry on any further. This is where, Octavios, you think you've gone to die. Do you say anything?
Looking up in the distance at the form as Octavius lay on the ground, still reaching to achieve his destination, Octavius would lift his eyes to the sky and say, "Thank you."
You no longer see, as you look to the sky, just blackness, but you know it's there, and you know the form is there before you. And then you hear the sound of weeping. You mistake it as your own at first, but then you realize, even through your sand-filled eyes, the dried sockets, that it's not you that is crying. You look up, and somehow in the darkness that has taken you over these years, you know you finally made it to where you've headed. The weeping grows louder, and then suddenly a voice cuts through it all. This voice is the only thing that you hear now. The sand is gone, the wind is gone, the pain is gone, everything is gone. And you hear this voice call out. It's almost frail, and it sounds like it's a man, and he's like crying as he talks. And he says, "Octavius Wren, the Undaunted, Much you have endured to get here. I weep for you, my child, for the path before you holds so much more to bear. Tell me why you have come so far, my child, to reach the Lord on the rack. You must have withstood so much to get here. You must have weathered so much storms. The pain you have bared must be unbearable. You have had to lose everything to fall before me. You could have given up so long ago, but you did not. Tell me, Ren the Undaunted, why have you fallen before your crying God? I weep for you so that you suffer a little less. Speak to me. Look before your God. And you hear the sound of metal penetrating flesh, and suddenly your vision returns to you, and you see a man before you strung up on this wooden rack. And as you look upon him, you see that his body is pierced by rusty metal spikes and chains. It's an absolutely horrible sight. His skin has been torn away, and all you see is exposed muscle and flesh. And through these thousands of spikes and whatnot, you can see this absolutely horrid visage. But as you look to his face, his eyes are the one redeeming quality. They're soft, and they have a constant flow of tears falling from them. Speak to me, my son. Share your burden. Tell me of your torment. Why are you here?
Octavius would just start by saying, I'm here to learn how to suffer more, my lord. I need to be able to bear more, to be able to help the sufferer, weak and oppressed. I must learn how to go undaunted throughout all of these and come out stronger as to be able to help. It seems so far from hope right now, but I must be the beacon of hope for others.
Very brave, friend the Undaunted. If you continue down this path, so much more pain and suffering you will see. Are you sure it's one that you choose?
Yes, I need to be there to help stop it and to be able to take the suffering upon myself.
Then I present
in your name.
And you look at his hand, who's kind of like crucified, and on his hands himself, between the two of them, he only has 4 mutilated fingers left, one of which falls off into the sand before you. And as you look, you see that on this disgusting, like bloodied finger is a shiny ring. And as you pick it up, you see that the ring itself actually is incredibly rusty, although it still somehow gives this glimmer to it. It looks ancient. And on the lining of the ring are these like horrible looking like spikes that line the inside of it. He says, Ren, my child, this is the ring of suffering. Place it before your finger if you wish to choose, or if you wish to go down this path.
Octavius would cross his ankles and he would cross his wrists and he would bow in the style of Ilmater that he's used to. And as he does, he would slip the ring on.
And as you do, it's absolutely excruciating. The ring's little spikes that line the inside of it tear into your flesh. And as you pull it down, it actually like rakes away flesh on your finger as you pull it down and just kind of like leaves this bloody mess on your ring finger. And then you feel it kind of sink in and like clench around your finger. The pain is incredibly bad, but from the 10 years you just experienced, it doesn't seem to be anything in comparison.
Octavius would not release a whimper.
He looks before you. I've placed this desert child before you to see if you are ready. I believe you are. Bear all that you can for those who need it, and pray to me every night, my child. Resign yourself to the suffering, and together we will weather this storm. But know now, Octavius, that now that that ring rests upon your finger, it will not come off until you've endured as much as I have. I trust in you, though, Octavius Wren the Undaunted. Now trust in me, and together we will take pain away from the world. Now that you have the finger on, you're standing there before him. The sand starts to dissipate from underneath your feet. You fall to the ground, crying. The Lord of the Rack, Ilmater, cries with you. You both weep. And suddenly, as you're laying on the ground, you find yourself kind of almost like in a fetal position just from his presence. You feel, he just kind of lets you feel momentarily like some of the pain that he feels. And even though you try to tough it out, it's the most unbearable thing that you could imagine in terms of pain. You feel every single spike that is in his body, the thousands of them. You feel his torn away flesh. And then before you know it, you feel cold. You look around. The first thing that you see is the box that Livy gave you. It's now open. You see your friends all standing before you as you lay on the ground, and you feel a throbbing on your finger. You look, and there's flesh like pulled away all down your fingers, all like kind of in like a 360-degree radius around your finger, but the ring of suffering sits there on it.
Octavius would close his eyes and just mutter the words, "Thank you." And he would get up and join his comrades and hopefully instruct them all to get to the boat.
As you see Octavius pass out, a couple minutes go by. He's like in this almost like sleepwalking state, like reached into the box and put a ring on his finger. And he started to yell out in like excruciating pain as you watched him pull this ring down on his finger and basically mutilate his right ring finger. And then he kind of stood up. And as he did so, you don't know if you've noticed it before or not, but you see like streaks of white in Octavius's hair, almost as if he's kind of like aged a little bit before you. He looks a little bit older and somehow changed, like he's seen something that like an eternity or basically a lifetime he has seen now. There's just like a difference about his presence. And then he just looks to you all and says, "We got to go." What does everybody else say?
Livy just kind of gives a knowing look, kind of like, He had something similar to what I had, I think. I assume. I don't know. I always hear the story, but we gotta go.
Yeah. So you guys prepare to go. We will end it there. But in terms of your item, Dan, you would have went through the trial taking it on. So you have what is called the Ring of Suffering. I'm going to put it in your character sheet in just a second. The way this ring works is you have a total of 10 charges, which renew 1d4 plus 3 after your night of prayers. It has a couple different abilities, one of which is called Tears of the Crying God. This costs 3 charges. Once per day, you can use an action to heal a creature 25 hit points. Once you use this, you can't use it again until next sunrise. You have another ability called Enduring Presence. As a reaction, you can take the damage of an ally within 30 feet of you. This costs 2 charges, I said. Broken God's Gift is as a bonus action. You can spend one of your hit dice to give an ally in 30 feet that hit dice in temporary HP. And then the curse that actually there's one more ability called Ilmater's Burden. It allows you to transfer any disease or sickness as a bonus action if you touch a creature. So if someone that you see has a disease or sickness, you can touch them, and as a bonus action, you can take that disease or sickness upon yourself. That's so fucking cool. The last thing that it has is Lord of the Rack. Now this item is cursed. So every night you must pray to Ilmater, and you must endure what Ilmater endures before you, or like before him. You're going to have to make a religion check at the end of every night. And if you fail, you're going to take an excruciating amount of damage.
Oh, that's so exciting.
However, no matter how much damage you can take, Ilmater will never let you die. So even if you exceed your hit points, he'll always leave you at 1 HP. And then there's
That is awesome.
one other effect, but that's going to be secret. I'll add that to your character sheet. Other than that, though, we will end tonight as Livy went to the Maiden's Garden. The party defeated, surprisingly, I was scared for a while there, 5 frost giants, has the Oracle lens and is ready to go. And then we ended with Octavios going to the desert of Ilmater. Thanks for playing, guys, and until next time. Peace.
Thanks, Chris.